Hi all, welcome back to another lecture of DBMS. In last lecture, we have learned about subqueries along with different operators in the subquery. In this lecture, we will be learning about types of subqueries. So first, we'll learn about single row subqueries, then multiple row and multiple column subqueries. Then we learn about correlated and non-correlated subqueries, and at last, we'll end up the session by seeing the difference between the correlated and non-correlated subqueries. Again, this video is going to be important and interesting. So let's begin, stay focused, and let's start with the first topic of the lecture, which is types of subqueries. So subqueries we have already known from the past lecture that this is the inner query and whose result will be used by the main query to apply and to execute the query. So it is also known as inner query and nested query, and are powerful tools in SQL that allows us to break down complex query by embedding one query inside another. So subquery is a kind of functionality which allows us to break down the complex queries into simple subqueries so that the execution will be simpler. Now subqueries offer flexibility in querying by allowing you to retrieve specific data from a database. So first type of subquery is single row subquery, which actually returns exactly one row of data used in cases where only one value is expected as a result. So single row subquery will give you only one row as a result, and it is only used where the expectation is one value. Multiple row subquery, it actually gives you more than one row as a result. Okay, and here you will be using the operators like in, any, all. How? We'll see in the queries in our upcoming slides. Last is multiple column subqueries. So basically in this, we like for the condition when we give only one column to match, right? In this multiple column subqueries, we will be giving more than one columns to basically match, okay, for the condition. So returns more than one column of data and used when the outer needs to compare more than one column or use multiple columns from a subquery result. So let's start with the different types of subqueries. So first is single row. Okay, so single row subqueries returns exactly one row of data. It's typically used in cases where only one value is expected as a result. Single row subqueries are often used with the comparison operator. So here we are basically selecting the train's name from the train table. So this whole column we are selecting, but as a single row subquery means it will give you only a single row as a result. So we are selecting train name from trains table and giving the condition where train ID should exist. So as it is a subquery, so subquery means instead of directly giving the train ID as 101 or 102 or so on, we will be giving here the subquery, right? And that subquery will give you a single result. So here what is a subquery? Subquery is selecting the train ID from bookings table. Okay, so we are selecting that train ID from bookings table where passenger name is Raj. So passenger name is Raj for only 101 train ID. So this will give you the final result as 101. And now the outer query, which is the main query and which basically uses the result of the inner query, which is the subquery, right? So the outer query, this will use the result of the subquery, and how it will use? It will select that train name from trains table whose train ID is equal to 101. So 101 is only equal for this case, so it will select the name as Rajdhani. So this is the final output. So here basically you will be comparing the train ID with 101 with equal operator, and it can be true for only one case and not for multiple case, or even if it true for multiple case, but still for the one single train ID, the train name will be unique, right? So hence the output will be only one row, and that is why it is called single row subquery. Next is multiple row subquery. So it is totally opposite to that single row subquery where only the resultant was giving only one row. Here the result will be multiple rows. How? A multiple row subquery returns more than one row of result first. It's commonly used with operators in and all. So basically in the single row subquery, we were using the operator equals to. That is why only for one case it was true. In this, we will be using a kind of, the result will be in the list of train IDs, and now we will be checking if the particular train ID is there in the list or not. if it is there, as the multiple values can be allowed in that list, so we'll be checking multiple train IDs with that, right? So hence the result will be, instead of single row, it will be the multiple rows. So let's see the SQL query first. So we are selecting the train name from trains table. Now the same query as before, where train ID. Now instead of using the equal operator that will only match one value for one row, here we will be using in operator. So basically in operator will be checking for every train ID, it is there in the resultant of the subquery or not. Now let's see the resultant of the subquery here. So it is saying select those train ID from bookings group by train ID. So basically we will be selecting grouping by train ID. So 101 together, 101, right? Now 1033, so 1 times 103 and 104 and 104. So this will be the final output of the subquery, the result of the subquery, which will be used by the outer query. Okay, so outer on main query, which is this, right? So now what will happen? This will say select those train name from the trains table having train ID in this result. So first it will pick up 101. It will check, is 101 is there? Yes. So it will select the name of that table. Rajdhani will be the output. Now it will check 102. Is 102 is there? No. So Shatabdi will not be included in the final result. Next 103. Is 103 is there in the resultant of the subquery? Yes. So 103, for 103, Duranto is the train name. So 103, Duranto will also be considered as the output. Now next last row is 104. So it will check 104 is there in the resultant. Yes, 104 is there. Now southern table will also be considered as a result. So hence we have a resultant table having one column but multiple rows, and that is why it is called multiple row subquery. The only difference was equal to operator and in operator. So if you are using equal to operator, which will only compare one single value, so that will give only one row as a result. So that is why it is called single row subquery. In case of multiple, instead of using the equal operator, you will be using in operator, basically to check every multiple values of train ID in the given list. And that is why it is called multiple row subquery. I hope till this much it is clear. Now let's move on to multiple column subquery. So multiple column subquery says here the resultant will be multiple columns as well, and for the conditions also you can use, instead of only comparing one column from the tables, you can compare multiple columns at the same time. Let's see how. We are selecting train ID and passenger. So in the previous ones, like one row and multiple rows, we were only selecting one column, which is train name, right? Here we will be selecting train ID and passenger. Okay, so two columns. So hence it is multiple columns. From bookings table. So from booking table, we are selecting train ID column and passenger column. Okay, done. Now, what is the condition here? So where we are selecting train ID and date should exist. Now, that is the case. In the previous ones, we were checking for train ID, a single column. Now, as it is a multiple column, and here instead of only selecting multiple columns as a result, you can also pick multiple columns for the comparison. So, for the comparison, you have used train ID and date in the where condition. Now, along with the train ID, date should also exist there. Now, see, in. So, in means it will give you the multiple results also. So, what is the inner query and subquery says? So, inner query says we want to select those train IDs and date from bookings table. Okay, so from bookings table, we will be selecting train ID and date. Okay, where date is 2nd of October. So, we will see 2nd of October is only for this case, which is 203 booking ID, right? But what we want to select from this row? We want to select train ID and date. Okay, so train ID will be 103. The result will be 103, comma, pair of train ID and date it wants, na? So 103 will be the train ID and date will be 20, 24, 10 and 2. So 2nd of October. Now this will be the result of the inner query. Now outer query will try to match with it. So what it will do? It will choose every train ID and date pairs from bookings table one by one and will try to match. So first it will choose 101 and like 101 train ID and 1st of October. It will match? No. Now 101 1st October? No. 103 2nd October from this? Yes, it matches. So for that, it will choose train ID and passenger. So train ID will be 103 and passenger will be Lisa. So hence that is the answer. For another 103 3rd October not matching, 104 1st October not matching. So only single row it got matched. Here it's not like single row. The result can include one row or multiple rows as well. But as it is a multiple column subquery, so it is very much important to pick multiple columns in the resultant table, as well as if you want, you can give the multiple columns for the conditions to check. And that is why it is called multiple column subqueries. So that is all about one single row subquery, multiple row subquery and multiple column subquery. Now let's move on to correlated and non-correlated subqueries. So a correlated subquery runs once for each row in the main query, meaning it depends on each row of the outer query. So a correlated subqueries are those subqueries like the inner one, which runs for each row in the main query. So for each row in the main query, the inner query will run for it. That's where it is called correlated subquery. Let's see how. So we are selecting train name from trains table, this column. Okay. From trains table, where exist. Now we are checking where exist. So exist will only match true or false, right? So inside after the exist, this will say true or false. So it will only match the Boolean values, as we have already learned in our last lecture, right? So we are select one from bookings B, where booking.train ID should be equal to trains.train ID. So select one, it means is there at least one matching for this train ID, like for the train ID or not. So if it is there, it will give you true or else false. So for 101 from train ID, it will check if it is there in booking ID. Yes, it is there, and there are two matching, but at least it is checking for one, so it will give you true. Now, as for the first, it is true, right? So instead of, giving the collective result like how it was giving in that earlier cases in operator, 101, 102, 103, we were querying and all together, and then we were checking one by one. In this case, what will happen? First, we will be writing for train name. So basically, first, once this is true for any invoice ID, for any train ID, which is 101, right? So now, if it is true, yes, so it will give true. So for that, it is checking in the trains table. For that 101, it is checking for the train name. So Rajdhani will be then there. Now for another 102, it will check if 102 is matching, no, false, right? So that name will not be selected. So you can see for every outer query for 101, 102, every inner query is running one by one. That is why it is called correlated subquery. Means it runs once for each row in the main query, meaning it depends on each row of the outer query. Okay, so this is the final result where it finds all the train names that have at least one booking using a correlated subquery. Now let's see what is non-correlated subquery. So non-correlated subquery runs independently and produces its own result in case of in operator, right? And that time the main query uses for filtering or comparison. So that is the main difference between correlated and non-correlated. So in this select statement, you can see we are selecting train name from trains table, where train ID should exist, like should be there in the value. So should be there in what? So this will give you distinct train ID from bookings table. So from bookings table, if you will run this distinct train IDs, so what it will give you? It will give you 101, 103 and 104. So you can see as the inner query has run independently and has given the result as 101, 103 and 104. And now this result is being used by the outer query for the filtering purpose, right? So for the outer query will be, picking train ID one by one and will be checking if it is there in the resultant of the query or not. So that is why it is independent of each other. The outer query is not it is not running like for every outer query, for every inner query is also running. No, it's not like that. Once the inner query has run, and now the resultant of the inner query will be used for the filtering purpose by the outer query, and that is why it is called non-correlated queries. But in case of correlated queries where we were using exist, so that it actually gives only true or false for a single time. So that is why in this exist we were checking if for 101 train ID, it is there in both bookings table and train ID table or not. Yes, it is there. Then for that we were selecting the train name then and there, and then only we were moving to some another train ID. So for every outer query, the inner query was running at least once. So that is why it is called correlated and non-correlated subquery. And now let's see the difference, exact difference in between this. So correlated subquery refers to columns in the outer query and is used when the subquery needs to reference each row of the outer queries. So basically, it is saying that while running, whenever it needs the reference to select the whole row, on the condition will be applied on some column, and for every subquery there will be once the outer query should be running. But in case of non-correlated, it is independent of the outer query and used when a one-time result is needed for the outer query. So it will run, subquery will run independently and produce a final result, and that will be used for the filtering purpose of by the outer query. In case of correlated, it is executed once for each row processed by the outer query and depends on the outer query for its result. So it is in this case like how you saw in the exist, right? Where exist we were writing na? Where exist. So we were checking for train ID is there in bookings table and trains table or not, right? So for after every result, the subquery was waiting. So it has given true or false. But now let's suppose it has given true for 101 that yes, it is present in both bookings table and trains table. So it has given the result true. Now it is waiting for the outer query to get the result with this true value, whatever it wants to, validate and put the value or not. Whatever operation the outer query wants to do it. Then for another value, it will run. So basically, this is the inner query, the subquery is dependent on the outer query. That is why it is correlated. But in case of non-correlated, it's executed once and the result is used by the outer query and used when an on-time result is needed for the outer query. So this is the main query difference, like how selecting train name, train from trains table, and now we were checking if that train ID exists with this case or not, true or false. So for every subquery, for every inner query, the outer query will run and check. But in this case, non-correlated, once the inner subquery will run and gives you the list of results, so 101, 103, 104, right? And now, whenever the outer subquery wants, it can use for the filtering purpose. That is the main difference between the correlated and non-correlated subquery. So that was all about the whole lecture where we learned about single row query, a single column query, multiple column queries and multiple row subqueries, right? And now at last we have learned about correlated and non-correlated subqueries difference as well. I hope you have learned all your best. I tried my best to make you understand. And yeah, let's meet in another lecture with some more interesting topics. Till then, keep learning, take care of yourself and your family too.